Is Osogan truly a deadly monster that appeared from the sky to swallow people? Or is it just a myth of a banished king of the land of Ighodomigodo? Hey, I'm excited. Welcome to Bold with Joe, and I am Joe, and we are going to explore another untold history, legends, and myths from Africa. And today we are in Edo State, but we are going further back. Before the Benin Empire, we're going to the land of Ighodomigodo because something mysterious was happening then. There is this great monster called Osogan who terrorized people during market days. So the first dynasty of where we now know today as Edo State, before the Benin Empire, was the Ogiso era. I talked about this in another episode. You can go watch it after this, where I talk about the founding of the empire, the myth and everything. Okay, so in Ighodomigodo, the Ogisos came from the sky, right? They were ruling over the land. So there was an Ogiso called Ogiso Owodo. Ogiso Owodo was one very influential Ogiso because this king designed so many institutions, craft, structures, and it was even during the era of the king that some domestic, commercial, and royal tools were developed. And the craftspeople that developed these tools were grouped into unions, and that's when this whole idea of the craft guilds started from its formation. But one thing that's so significant to the eras of the Ogisos, the first dynasty, is the formation of an institution called Edion. They are the eldest, the oldest of the land. They were tasked with the duty and responsibility to administer affairs, deliberate when there are issues. Remember that romantic picture of Africa, though you have a tree, maybe I think it's always a baobab tree or something, and then there is a sunset, and then you have someone sitting there, often it's like a Maasai sitting there, and there's a sunset, and you want to just top it up, just a giraffe will just go through the images. Those images, yes, that romantic picture. Now, picture that. And you could have the Edion, the elder, sit under that tree. That was parliament, okay? That was parliament. Why on earth would you expect us then in 30 plus degrees Celsius to be in a high walled building all dressed up? Seriously, it's humid, it's hot? No. Why not deliberate the matters of the land in the best possible spot under a sunset hovering over Ighodomigodo? Yes. So sometimes I said, you'll have the elders sit there, deliberate about the matters of the land. Elders are very, very much respected in Edo. I bet you, if you're in Europe and you're on a train, stay with me here. We're going to explore this story today. But let me just tell you this. If you're in a train in Europe, right, and there's no space, the train is jam-packed, and there's an elderly person walks in, I bet you the first person to stand up will be an Edo man or an Edo woman, because age and respect was tied together, so important during the founding of Ighodomigodo, where the Edo people come from. Now let's fast forward towards the end of the first dynasty. There was a ruler called Ogiso Owodo. During this reign, Ighodomigodo was in formation, right? I said earlier. But there was something that was disturbing everybody. There was a mysterious thing happening. During market days, people will disappear. Until they sighted Osogan. It was a creature that descended from the sky to swallow people during market days. And this was happening at the Ogiso market. Now, I'm going to do a bit of speculation here, allow me, right? But before we dive into deliberating, who is this Osogan? Is he really a mysterious creature? Before we dive into that myth, let's understand a bit about the space. So around Ikoba River, in the land of Ighodomigodo, there was a hill called Okiedo. Close to the hill, there was a market called Ogiso Market. Don't forget, Ogiso means kings from the sky. That's the short form of saying it. Don't forget that, because we're going to recall that later. Put a pin there. Now, the market is called Ogiso Market on the hill around Ikoba River. Again, we're coming back to the elders. They are the ones that will deliberate with the king. What are we going to do? There is this thing coming to eat everybody in the market. What is it? How do we defend it? First of all, okay, they will send the warriors, the Edo warriors, to go and fight or, scare Osogan, away. But Osogan kept coming every market day. And I'm going to explain that about the market days. Yes, there are market days, like specific days that was designated for people to come out, showcase their stuff. The things that they want to buy, they buy. The things they want to sell, they sell. Choosing market days was so important to the land. And market days are just like today, modern day trade fairs, but it's just more consistent and tied to like the cultural, spiritual, economic nuances that affected the land of Ighodomigodo. And you even had people that caretakers of the market, which even comes back to this whole idea of the elders. In the towns, the caretakers of the market were called Edion. So they were the ones, Edion elders, the ones that will regulate what's happening in the market, make sure nobody overprices or underprices. But they were not responsible for protecting the market from creatures like Osogan. So the elders sat together and they were like, what are we going to do? How can we protect the Edo people? And the warriors could not defeat Osogan. Osogan will come back again. So there was a continuous deliberation on how do we scare this creature out of Ighodomigodo. Now, I told you I want to speculate a bit. Now, allow me, join me, drop a comment beneath, because if this myth is true that there is this mysterious creature coming from the sky, descending to eat people, swallow people at the Ogiso market. Remember, coming from the sky in the era of the Ogisos, kings from the sky, coming to attack people at the Ogiso market, Ogiso kings from the sky's market, right? A creature, great monster coming to attack the people of Ighodomigodo. Now, I am wondering, could it be that this so-called Osogan is just a banished king or banished warrior from the land of Ighodomigodo? Probably a banished king from the sky coming down to attack people at the kings from the sky's market. Do you get where I'm going here? So it might not just be like this monster creature, non-human monster creature that we will imagine. It might just be a simple banished king coming back to take revenge. But this is my speculation. I'm also wondering, okay, let's imagine Osogan was really like a non-human creature, mysterious, coming to attack people, maybe in modern world right now we could just visualize like a dragon, Games of Thrones trying to kind of dragon, no. But let's see what AI says. Because I want to let me put something in AI. Let's see what it says. So if I were to use the AI to recreate this with a prompt, let's put together based on my research and fantasy. Look, this is based on my research and fantasy, right? Let's prompt and say 12th century monster descending from the sky to swallow people at the market. That's South Africa. Let's see what AI suggests. Voila, here you have it. What do you think? Now, I do not for 1 minute believe this will be how the monster will look like, but let's agree, just for today in this video, that this represents Osogan. Now, the Ogiso warriors, they tried, but Osogan remained undefeated. Now, market day after market day, people will still disappear. In Ighodomigodo, there was lamentation. People were crying, commotion. In fact, that Ogiso market that was so popular, the market of the kings of the sky that was so like the major market popular now started becoming a no-go area. There is even a saying, Agbayo Aigbare, meaning if we go together, we know they come back together. Like if we go together, we're not coming back together. So this was like already the nickname of Ogiso Market, Agbayo Aigbare. So Ogiso Owodo's reign was under a massive test because the people of Ighodomigodo mounted pressure on the king. You have to protect us. Protect us. The warriors are failing. What do we have to do? The elders, remember that romantic tree? Probably not. But they sat down together again, the Edion. They sat down together again to deliberate. How do we protect the people of Ighodomigodo from the great mysterious monster, Osogan? After much deliberation, Edo warriors, unable to scare Osogan, an idea came up. The idea was to create an acrobatic performance that will scare the mysterious creature, Osogan. I'm actually just wondering, like, this performance, this artistic acrobatic performance has to really be scary. That the creature will be like descending down and see people of Ighodomigodo performing their acrobatic performance, and the creature will be like, oh, no. Even though I'm coming down to eat people because probably there's famine in heaven, this acrobatic performance is just too much. It's going to destroy my appetite. And I also will fly back. But well, that was the conclusion during that meeting. But meanwhile, as that was in preparation, there was somebody else in Ighodomigodo that spent so much time pondering and deliberating. No, there has to be something that we can do against Osogan and protect our people. And his name is Evian. Evian was a notable administrator in Ighodomigodo. Well-to-do man, had his reputation. He took it upon himself to find a solution against Osogan. And do you know what he came up with? Now remember I told you that in the Ogiso era, especially Ogiso era, that was a time where institutions were being developed. So even like the casters, the smiths, blacksmiths, ironsmiths, they were grouped into guilds and they formed their own union. They were grouped into guilds. So Benin had a strong union of expert smiths, ironsmiths, and they're called Ighodomigodo. And ever this administrator in Ighodomigodo went to the ironsmith and he was like, I need the greatest hammer that you can create out of iron. So while on one side you had the Edo warriors continuously training, on the other side you had acrobatic dancers. Even the dancers had their own guild, their own union. Acrobatic dancers prepping the people on this scary dance. Then on the other side you had Evian. Evian, his own strategy was a bit different. And one thing is, the acrobatic dancers, they also thought that they needed to find a strategic spot. And you know what they chose? They chose a silk cotton tree. And I'm wondering, why will they choose a silk cotton tree to perform the dance? It's either the tree was in a very good location, probably high up the hill at Okeado, like probably in a way that the monster, when the monster is coming, that's maybe the first spot the monster gets to see before even thinking of attacking the market. So when the monster sees that acrobatic dance near the silk tree, the monster is scared. Or probably they thought the silk tree could protect them against the monster or shield them against the monster, or maybe disguise, camouflage them, that the monster doesn't even know they are humans. Maybe the monster will think it's also a monster, you know. I don't know the thought process around this, but they chose, legend says they chose a silk cotton tree. And we're going to come back to this, put a pin there. Because I was so surprised to have found something, records, pictorial records that actually confirms this in a way. Confirms it. The thing is, we don't have enough records line accessible. There are records. Records are in form of like pictorial drawings, oral, traditional storytelling, books written by people like Professor Ighodomigodo, for example. Even the Red Book has a whole lot. Yeah, I really encourage people to go get the Red Book. I'm going to put a link beneath the Red Book. It's not cheap. So stay with me. I'm going to be exploring some of the stories. But anyway, it's so good for us to keep telling the stories now, retelling them, researching, trying to gather the pieces together to create our narratives until we can find more records or create the records that are missing, the missing pieces, right? I am thrilled to have found this image of a plague cast at the British Museum's looted archive that depicts the Amufi dance. It is worth examining, and I am going to come back to this later. I saw it online that it's at the British Museum, but I don't really know if it's there. I'm still going to research that. So another market day came. The people were ready with the acrobatic dance to scare the monster. Evian too was ready with his great hammer made out of irons by the casters, Ighodomigodo. But Evian kept the hammer in fire. He wanted it to be glowing, red hot, so that when the monster comes, it will really attack. You get? So the monster was preparing to come down Osogan because the skies was moving and you could feel that same dramatic feel. I'm just imagining this right now. The great monster is coming down and everybody can begin to sense, even the birds of the sky, they sense it first, they're flying away, everybody is hiding. I'm just creating like a scene right now. Right? Then the monster lands. Something is different, right? I bet the monster will notice that silk cotton tree seems to have more leaves. I can smell fire, but I'm hungry. I'm still wondering why the monster has to leave heaven. The skies, I don't even know if it's heaven up there, but the skies, there must have been famine there. Live there and come to earth to pray. So either the monster really wants revenge on the people of Ighodomigodo. Probably they banned the king. You see, I'm going back to my speculation, but anyway, the monster arrives, ready to swallow someone. Evian throws the hammer right into the mouth of the monster, going into the belly of the monster. Hot, glowing iron into the belly of the monster. There's a loud cry. The earth paves and the monster takes away, flies away. For the first time in Ighodomigodo, after a long while, on a market day, people rush out rejoicing, but still worried. Maybe the monster is just injured now, and then the monster will be very, very angry, and then the monster might come back again for a second round of revenge. This time, it's not just going to be swallowing people, to swallow the goats, the sheep, more people, more dozens of people at once. You know, that's a probability, right? But at this moment of victory, where Evian, an administrator in Ighodomigodo, his plan to defeat the great mysterious monster Osogan was successful. People were rejoicing. They were celebrating Evian. They were celebrating so much that they even gave him a nickname called Evian Nurebe. Evian Nurebe means the preventer, Evian, the preventer of danger. So that automatically made him a hero in the land of Ighodomigodo during the reign of Ogiso Owodo. Now, one would think that this is like the end of the story, Evian becoming like the conqueror of the great mysterious monster, but this is just the beginning of Evian's story. before I explore a bit of that, of what happens to Evian afterwards, let's go back to the dance. To mark that event that was happening in the Ogiso era during Ogiso Owodo, and to commemorate the dance, the acrobatic dance that was created to scare away the great monster Osogan, and the victory that followed afterwards. This dance was now called Amofi, which is still till today in some areas. Actually, I hear, but I've not seen it happen, that you still have the dance. This Amofi dance, it's an acrobatic dance, was performed annually every year until the 20th century. Even during the reign of Obaewa the Great, Obaewa the First, this dance was still performed and reformed into something of cultural heritage within the Edo people. For me, actually, I get to see how the tradition and story and history is being created amongst my people. Because of that event, maybe some other cultures we take that we're literate in writing, we take to writing it down. Today, some cultures will make a Hollywood film out of it and documentaries out of it and put it in your face. And maybe before, some cultures will just tell it from generation to generation, like maybe our culture did. But another thing that I can really see that's so significant here, and I'm very sure there are other empires or cultures that also use this method, was art in the sense of performance art. So it was not enough to have that victory, but I think the people of Ighodomigodo wanted, and the Benin Empire that came after Ighodomigodo, that's during the second dynasty, wanted the people to remember. So that dance was taken on every year annually in a form of like remembrance, commemoration, thanksgiving, being grateful, because when that dance is performed, everybody will remember what happened and how the victory came about, right? So we as humans, we have different methods. So from pictorial, writing, drawing, smith, casting, performance dance, storytelling, and thanks to digital technology right now, it's a lot more easier to do these things. Let's take a look at the plague. I told you, remember, I put a pin there. Let's go back. This plague. This is a plague depicting two acrobats in the Amofi ceremony with three large birds at the top of the tree. Oh, okay, I saw this now online saying at the British Museum, so probably this is at the British Museum. I do not know. If you know, just help me here, because I really want to create, a holistic narrative here. So if you know where this plague is, write it in it. So this plague depicts Amofi acrobats. Now, we remember how significant this plague is to the Edo people. The culture of the Amofi acrobat stems from the legend of Evian, the conqueror of the mysterious monster Osogan. The plague can also be perceived as a pictorial remembrance of the shared experience that commemorates the defeat of evil in Ighodomigodo. So this shows how culture and traditions are developed through common experiences and shared memories. Now let's get back and round up with the story of Evian. What happened to him? After the victory, after he got his nickname Evian Nurebe in Ighodomigodo, new institutions developed, and the people, however, had their own means of balancing power, the king's power. Now, during the reign of Ogiso Owodo, who actually now became the last Ogiso in the Ogiso era of the first dynasty, and we will know why very soon. During his reign, an event happened, something else happened that was so dramatic. Ogiso Owodo ordered the execution of a pregnant woman, and this was taboo. This was not done in Ighodomigodo. The people were angered, they did not accept this. So they dethroned Ogiso Owodo and banished the king. They dethroned Ogiso Owodo and banished him out of Ighodomigodo. Now, what does that mean? That means that the kingship is empty. That means that there is a vacuum. They needed a ruler. And now that they've banished the Ogisos, and you know there is the idea, the myth that an Ogiso must be spiritually, mystically founded, elected king from the sky. Now they had to banish him. So there was a temporary vacuum. And now, again, the elders, the Edion, they had to sit down again and deliberate. What do we do? There was a need for a protector. Someone that they know they can trust, that's notable, that can protect not only the land of Ighodomigodo, but also the people of the land. And guess who? Guess who was on their top one list? Evian Nurebe. Evian was made ruler of the people of Ighodomigodo. Evian was the first non-Ogiso king in that era, and then the last ruler of the first dynasty. In fact, I would rather see it like Evian was a transition king, taking the people of Edo, the people of Ighodomigodo land, into the second dynasty of the others. So that was your small dose of untold African legends, stories, myths coming from the heart of Edo State, former Ighodomigodo, former Benin Empire, now Edo State, Nigeria, West Africa. Stay subscribed, turn on that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops, a new episode of my conversations with amazing entrepreneurs. New episode of some really good myths, legend, history, and we have some new formats in stock for you, so you don't want to miss out. Stay subscribed, share, drop your comments. If you know more than I know when it comes to this history, oh my god, I'll be so glad to learn from you, so we take and move the African narrative forward. And of course, I'm so excited to explore history from other African countries, tribes, regions. So if you are interested in collaborating, bringing your story, your narrative, crafting, retelling, uncovering your legends, your history, your myths, don't forget to reach out. I'm Joe. This is Bold with Joe, and that was Untold Legends, Myths, and History from Africa. Bye.